What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Lately, my game of choice, the game that gives me the most passion, the game I'm thinking about when I'm not playing games, has become Titanfall. And it's really taken over that spot from Call of Duty. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Call of Duty Ghosts hater. In fact, I really enjoy Call of Duty Ghosts. I think it's a return to form for the Call of Duty franchise, back to the COD 4, back to the Modern Warfare 2 days. I really enjoy Call of Duty Ghosts. However, after playing Titanfall for the last month or so, I am really having trouble going back to Call of Duty Ghosts. And there's a few reasons for that. There are a few really cool innovations that Titanfall brings into the table that COD Ghosts just can't match. And one of those things, I think, is the parkour aspect. Running around like a madman with a jetpack on your back is just pure fun. The increased speed and mobility of the pilots is just, it's so adrenalized, it's so fast, it's so hectic. It just is a ton of distilled fun, and I really like it. And to go back to Call of Duty Ghosts at this point, it almost feels like the transition of players who really got used to Call of Duty and then try to go into a Battlefield and feel like it's slow, like feel like your character's stuck in the mud. It's very much the same thing now, moving from Titanfall to Call of Duty. And that shocked me a little bit because Call of Duty for me was always a very fast-paced game, but it just pales in comparison in that regard to Titanfall. I also think that Titanfall is a very noob-friendly game. The addition of AI-controlled specters and grunts makes this game fun for new players, while experienced players can concentrate on taking down pilots and titans. I was actually really apprehensive about the fact that there wouldn't be a single-player campaign, a traditional single-player campaign in Titanfall. The reason for that wasn't so much that I wanted to play the single-player campaign, it was the fact that I think that the single-player campaign is really what draws new players who wouldn't necessarily buy a multiplayer-only shooter to games like Call of Duty. I think that's what keeps those games so vibrant and active. Is because there's constantly new players getting into that campaign, and they'll say, hey, I'll check out this multiplayer for a couple of games, and then they get hooked. Titanfall doesn't have that hook. It doesn't have that campaign to rely on, so it really has to just go by how good this multiplayer is. And the fact that even a new player can have success in Titanfall, I think is a real coup. I think it's something that multiplayer designers have been trying to figure out for a long time. I think that Titanfall really nailed it. And let's not forget about the Titans themselves. I think my favorite part about Titanfall is the fact that you play for a few minutes as a pilot, and then you call in your Titan, and then the movement, strategies, even the scale of the gameplay just completely transforms. And this can happen multiple times during every match. Now, don't get me wrong, I really love working through the kill streaks in Call of Duty. But new players may not even see a kill streak higher than like a 3 or a 4 for weeks at a time. The only experience a new player has with the Loki is getting blown the hell up by something they couldn't even defend themselves against. In Titanfall, everybody gets a Titan every game. Better players will earn them faster and more frequently, but new players will also get them. Spawns. In Titanfall, I have yet to see a spawn where I literally spawned looking at an enemy player. The same can definitely not be said for any Call of Duty I've ever played. One of the biggest mistakes that Infinity Ward made with Call of Duty Ghosts was making camping a much more viable tactic. I think it was a real step back from Black Ops 2, and I think it's something that Titanfall really nails on the head. In Titanfall, I really don't think that camping is a valid tactic whatsoever. Sure, you see some people doing it, but one of the things they took out of Titanfall was going prone. And that makes snipers kind of laying down in the bushes or laying on top of buildings much easier to see because the smallest they can get is by kneeling. I think that is a major addition to this game, basically just taking that out. And I think it was a really genius idea. Generations, I love the generation kind of take on prestiges in Call of Duty. The addition of the challenges makes it something you actually have to try and do, as opposed to in Call of Duty where basically if you play long enough, you'll prestige, and you don't really have to think about it much at all. I really like the way the generations work in Titanfall. Post-game stats. Titanfall is scored on a point system. These attrition points are awarded to you based on how you perform toward the objective. This looks like it has the effect of encouraging players to play the objective. Only time will tell if this can fix an issue that has plagued Call of Duty team games for years, but it really has been an issue, especially in games like Domination, where you basically have people just slaying to increase their kill-death ratio. In Titanfall, hopefully the way the attrition points work, where you really score points based on scoring for the objective, scoring points for your team, hopefully that's going to have the effect of making people who play team objective-based games play the freaking objective. Burn cards. A very interesting take on the perk system of Call of Duty. The burn cards offer a different ability with every respawn. This can add quite a bit of tension to a single life, and the fun of seeing a particularly rare one pop up after a match is quite rewarding. I really like the burn card system. I was kind of a little bit surprised about it. I suspected that it was going to be a pay-to-win situation, but Titanfall really took a good tactic here. They don't charge you money to buy burn cards. They're purely awarded based on your performance in the game, and they really add another level to the game that I really enjoy. I was really impressed with the burn card system. So finally, I don't want to make this video sound like it's just about how Titanfall is so much better than Call of Duty. Titanfall is not the best game since chess. You know, that's not what I'm trying to say here. It's not even necessarily a better franchise than Call of Duty. However, what I do see in Titanfall are some fresh ideas, some new ways to play, some ideas that just reinvigorate the FPS genre, and I am just really excited about it. I think that this game is one of the most fun multiplayer shooters out there right now, and they have really hooked me. So thanks, Respawn. I really appreciate the effort. I'm really having a blast with Titanfall. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps me out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.